Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls coming to you from the West Coast. Today I wanted to share an Easter card with you that I made. It's using a belly band, which is a little band that slides off. And the reason is because the card itself is kind of thick, and so it doesn't necessarily stay shut. It just slides right back on and off. You open up the card, and it's a pop-up like that. So it says happy, as you open it, it says Happy Easter, and then there's the rabbit. It folds mostly flat for mailing, and then you can put the belly band right back on to hold it shut. Now you can add additional sentiments or um, additional decoration if you want, but I liked it just like that. Let me show you how it's made. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start making the base of the card, and we need 3 pieces of white paper or whatever you want to use for the base. 2 of them are 5 by 5, and the other one is 6 by 5. We're going to take one of the 6 by 5 piece, and on the 6-inch side, we're going to score it at 1 inch. Okay. And that's going to be the front. Then one of the 5 by 5s is going to go right in there, like that. And then the other one's going to go on the back. And this is a 5 by 5 as well. We're going to score it at 1 inch. This has to be smaller because it's going to fold in, and where those the pop-up things are, you need about an inch or half an inch to an inch of space. So we're going to hold that, and that's going to go like that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and glue that together so it can start getting set. And you can glue it with tacky glue, or you can use tape, you can use red liner tape. I'm going to use a combination of my tape pen with some glue. The tape pen because it helps it grab right away. I'm just going to spread that tacky glue out. It covers the whole piece. And then you can glue it on the top. I'm going to hook this on the top so that because my mats and layers on the inside are going to cover it. But you could also attach it to the back if you wanted. But you just line up that edge with the seam, press down, and same on the other side. And the tape grabs quickly, but the wet glue gives you a little bit of time to wiggle it into place. So that's one reason I prefer the wet glue, or at least a combination. Down there, press it down, and that's the base of your card. Folds like that. Okay. Now we're going to do the pop-up sections in the middle. And for those, you need 4 pieces of paper that are 5 or just a little bit shy of 5 by 2 1/4. And we're going to score each one this way at ½ inch, every ½ inch basically, because you're going to make a ½ inch tube, square tube. So half, 1, 1 1/2, and 2 on all 4 of them. Okay, and then once you have them all folded up, you can take them, and this little 1/4 inch section is your glue tab. So you're going to spread glue right down that 1/4 inch. On each of them. Okay. And then you can just fold it over. You basically fold it in half and it'll fold flat so that you can get that glue. So just like that. And then see it. It's like that. Now we're going to glue these onto our card bases. And the first time I did this, I put the mats and layers down first before I put these in. And I found it made it a little bit thick because then these were off the base card. So I'm going to try putting these in first. Okay, so you're going to glue these in right next to each other so that they're right on that fold. So you basically want them one on each side of that fold. And there's multiple ways you can do it. You can glue them together and then glue them down, but I'm going to glue them down and then kind of push them together. But before I do that, you have to get whatever's going to go on the center ready to go. So on the front one, I'm going to put a piece of acetate in the middle. And on this back one, and this is the front because that's the 5-inch piece, and this is the back because that's the shorter 4-inch piece. So these are going to go there. These are going to go there. My acetate's going to go right in the middle of that one. And I'm going to put a strip of green card that's 5 by 1.5 in the middle of this one because that's what I'm going to put my bunny rabbit on. So I'm going to glue them to the card and then push them together with because I'm using a wet glue. And that'll make sure that it can fold. So let's put glue on one side. And it's going to go right up against that fold line. Doesn't have to be perfect right now because I've got time with the other one. This one's going to go right up against the fold line on the other side. So you want to line them up so that there's one on each side of the fold. I don't know if you can see that fold right there, but that they're fairly close together, straddling that fold, and that they're even on each side. Because when they're pushed together, you want them to close just like that. Okay, and then we're going to put our piece of acetate in there and glue these together. Now the piece of acetate is going to be whatever size you want based on the sentiment that you have. This one is about 3 3/4 square, and just sort of center it up, and you just stand it up against the bottom and then put it together. And hold that long enough for the tacky glue to grab. And at this point you can close it up and push it down. And see how that opens right up. Now you don't want to be maneuvering it too much while it's still wet, so just kind of, we're going to let that dry and we're going to get these ready. So again, we put glue on one side of each of the little tubes. So on that one. And on that one. And then if you fold it flat, and the glue is right there on this edge, so we're going to line that up against that edge. push down, but don't. And again, flatten it and line it up. You can see that. Line it up right up against that edge. And so that it's straight on both top and bottom. Then when it's together, it should fold flat. And it does. I mean, there's a little bit of bulk, so it's not completely flat, but it's pretty close. Now we want to put our green in the middle, because that's where our rabbit's going to be. So let's go ahead and get that in there. And again, stand that piece up right in the middle and push your cardstock together. And we're just going to kind of, and it should fold in and then fold over. And that's why that one's cut short, so that it has room. Stand it this way. So you can see that that one goes right up to the edge of that pop-up tube. If you had made this back piece 5 by 5, it would not fold in there. So you have to make it an inch shorter so that it will fit in there. Just like that. Okay. Now we're going to kind of leave that for a second. And while that's drying, we're going to do our stamping. So I'll set that off to the side. Let me bring in my stamp platform because I've got my bunny rabbit, the stamp. And this is from the Nature's Garden, one of the Nature's Garden collections. Pick up that stamp. And since I'm going to color with alcohol markers, I use my alcohol proof Spectrum Noir ink. And that looks great. Now, I want this to be double-sided. So I need to be able to stamp my rabbit on the back side of it so that it's double-sided. But as soon as I color with my alcohol markers, you know that it bleeds through. So I can't just stamp on the back because it's going to bleed and it's going to look funny. So I'm going to take a second piece of white paper. I'm going to cut, well, I'm going to cut this one first before I color it. So this particular stamp has a die that goes with it. So let's use the die set that goes with it. It's a 2-piece die. Now if you think about it, so now I've got 2 cut, so I can put them back to back. So I can layer that one on the back so it doesn't show. Just a little. Okay, so now I need to stamp my rabbit on the back of this one, which is this side. And now I know what you're all thinking, but I can't do that. We're going to reverse stamp. So I'll show you how we do that. So we put just a little bit of tape on that to hold it steady. And then I want my stamp. So this stamp has the side that I ink up. So it's kind of, this is the back side of the stamp. This is the side that you ink. And we're going to line it up right on top of that rabbit. And we're going to ink it up carefully, trying not to move it. So push straight down, don't rub. And then over here, I've got a piece of just silicone. And we're going to stamp onto that silicone, which I have used repositionable spray to hook on there. And you can kind of see a faint line. It's not too bright, so we're going to try and ink it again. And we're going to do it one more time. And now I'm getting that ink onto that silicone. Now let's move the stamp. And now we want to place that ink right, or place that piece of paper right on top of the ink and push down. And give it a good rub all over. And then lift it off. And there's your bunny the right way. That's called reverse stamping. And it's a fun technique that you can do with any stamp if you want double, or if you want a double-sided, or if you just want the image to be facing the other way. Maybe you just want your rabbit to be facing the other way. And that's an easy way to do it. And now I'm going to color in both of my rabbits, and then I'll glue them back to back once I'm done with that. And I just colored in with baby pink for the insides of the ears, or the inside of the ear. And I used a tri-blend tan blend for the rest of the rabbit. And he's not perfectly aligned, but that'll be the back side, so it'll be fine. Still looks pretty good. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then we're going to glue those together. We get some tacky glue. Okay. And there's your double-sided rabbit. Not perfect, but it's pretty close. Looks pretty good. Set that aside to let it dry. Then we're going to go ahead and cut our sentiment. And I'm going to cut the back layer out of purple and the writing out of yellow. And this is the interchangeable sentiment dies. Happy Easter. So that's going to be out of purple. And we're just going to put that sentiment together. Oops. Fine tip glue. On there. Okay, I got all the pieces ready. Let's go ahead and go back to our card base, and we're going to mat and layer these. And I've chosen, this is some cardstock from the Farmhouse collection. And this is going to go right here. And the purple layer is just about 5, just shy of 5 by just shy of 4.5. And it's going to cover most of that white. And then the print pattern is just a little bit shy of that. So I just want a fairly thin border. So that's going to go there. Then this piece is just a little bit shy of 4 by the 5. Because remember, this was 5 inches, and then you got a ½ inch on each side taken out from those. This was 5 with a ½ inch taken out, and that was 4 with a ½ inch taken out. It's going to go right between those pieces, and it's going to cover up all of your connection points. So that's why I didn't worry about whether those were on the front or the back. You could have put them on the back, but I figured this way they'd be completely covered up. And then this back piece, because that's 4, so the purple is 3.5. Because it's 4 inches minus the ½ inch. Yeah. Then I'm going to cover up these pieces with some purple, and I just cut some that were 5 by just shy. This is about ½ inch. They're just a little bit under ½ inch, so that they fit on there. And we're just going to cover up top and sides of these with the purple, just to kind of cover up that white. And you could do it with the print pattern if you want. I kind of like the purple because my sentiment's going to be in the purple background. So that's why I did it, but you can do it however you want. Or you can leave it white for that matter if you really didn't mind the white, but I didn't like the white. Then we're going to put our Happy Easter right onto that acetate, just some tacky glue. Just like that. Then on these back pieces, I'm going to put the rabbit in there, but I want to cover up that white, but I made some like grass. So I took some strips that were 5 by 1.5, and all I'm going to do is take my scissors and just kind of cut fringe of varying widths, of varying heights. Doesn't matter. You just want something that looks a little bit like grass. You thought about using one of the edgeable dies that has like a floral flowers or foliage type of an edge, and I was afraid it would take away from the rabbit because it's too much, but you could try it. I kind of liked this look. And then so that it wasn't so straight, I just took the edge and kind of did this. Just because I didn't want it to look completely straight. This grass is never completely straight. The center one I didn't worry about too much because it's not going to show that much. Now we're going to glue our grass onto the front and the back of these white. There's 2, one on each side. And we're going to put our rabbit in here. I'm going to put him towards the back. So I'm going to put my Easter eggs in the front. And you just take the back side, put a little bit of glue on the bottom, and just push him right onto that middle. And you want him low enough so that that will fold. See, you got to make sure that his ears fit within there, or whatever you put on there. So you want to make sure that they're low enough. Then I made a bunch of eggs, and these are just a bunch of colors. They're cut from my smallest oval nesting die in a bunch of different colors. And I just kind of put a little bit of glue on and piled them up. You can put them in the grass, you can put them in front of the rabbit, you can put them wherever you want. And I only had a stitched edge oval die, unfortunately. I would have liked to have had a plain edge oval die, but I didn't, so I used the stitched edge. And if you don't like that, you could always cut your own eggs, or if you had a regular oval die that was not stitched edge, And that's the basics of the card. Now we're just going to mat and layer the outsides. So I got to do this side. And because this card is kind of thick, it isn't going to want to stay closed. So I would do a belly band, and I'll show you how to make a belly band as soon as I get this mat layered. Pops up, pops up. Isn't that cute? So bunny folds in, that folds in, when it opens. Happy Easter, and the rabbit. Now, you can decorate this side, you can decorate that side. I don't think you need anything there for sure. You can put a little white name, card here to write on, which is probably what I will do, is put a little white. And then you can decorate this piece, and you want it to kind of look like this because you want people to open it this way. So whatever decoration you put, make sure you kind of face it that direction. But you could either put a little ribbon close, but I think I would probably do a belly band. And you're basically going to take it and wrap it around. I don't think one's going to fit. Oh yeah, it will. Perfect. So essentially, you just line it up straight and sort of even, and you just wrap it around loosely. And you don't want to score and fold it and all that, because you want it tight enough that it holds it together, but not so tight that it's too hard to get off. So let's get my tacky glue. We're just going to put a little bit of glue right on that edge. And hold it down. And that's essentially your belly band. And then it slides off. And the card will open up, and you can slide it right back on. Now, and this is why you don't want to measure it and score it, because if you measure it and score it, it's hard to decide. Now, if you want to decorate it, you can measure that. So, oops. So that was 2 inches, and this is 5 inches. So I'm going to go a little bit shy of 5 and 2, and I'll decorate both the front and the back. Just like that. And then I would do is I would decorate that with, you can either put a sentiment on there, but I think I've got the perfect thing. Okay, so I think I've got the perfect thing. These are from, I don't even remember how long ago they are, but they're like silhouette cut in. And we're going to cut a background layer with that in green. So we're going to cut a background layer in the green. And then we're going to cut the rabbit in white. So we're going to cut the bunny rabbit in some white Centura Pearl Touch of Gold, just to give it a little bit of shimmer and shine. Cut those. And then lastly, we need a base layer to put it all on. Just like that. And then we're going to put that right on the center of our belly band. Now when you glue this on, make sure you just put glue in the middle. Don't get it all over, because you don't want it to stick to the card, just to the belly band. Like that. And there we go. So there's our belly band. Slides off. And your card opens up. Happy Easter and your rabbit. Just like that. Folds back down, and you can slide your belly band right back on. Now you want to be careful and let this glue dry before you do too much with it. Hope you enjoyed that. Have a nice night.